Welcome back to Parenting Roadmaps. So much of child development happens without us really noticing. You may remember your child's first spoken word, but how about when they go from stringing a few words together to making a complete sentence? By watching these weekly videos, your child's development stays in the forefront of your mind and, fingers crossed, you become a better map reader, paying closer attention to your child's development and therefore better able to see the road ahead and appreciate all the amazing sights along the way. Today is episode number 17, and we're learning about the speech and language domain. So far, we've covered the physical domain, the social and emotional domain, the cognitive domain, and now the speech and language domain. As a side note, this domain can have a variety of different titles, sometimes including the word communication. No matter the title, today I want to make sure you understand this domain focuses not only on words spoken by your child, their speech, but also, and just as importantly, it's about how your child understands the spoken word. The speech and language domain, it's a two-way street. As with all the domains in child development, there's a huge amount of growth in the speech and language domain during the preschool years. Just stop and think about it. The difference between how a 2-year-old communicates and understands versus a 5-year-old. You are moving from stringing a few words together to having complete back and forth, full-on conversations. The common focus of this domain, because it's an easier aspect to observe, is speech, the spoken word. But as I already mentioned, the speech and language domain is a two-way street. We can't forget to pay attention to your child's ability to understand what is being spoken to them. The two sides of this street are most often referred to as expressive language and receptive language. Expressive language is the ability or skill to make your needs, thoughts, and ideas known to someone else, to be able to communicate meaning. We typically think about this as the ability to speak, but this can also be done with gestures, and think about sign language. It would be a form of expressive language too. The other side of the street is receptive language. Receptive language is the ability to understand and comprehend language, including words, sounds, and gestures. The speech and language domain, taking a big step back and looking at this journey you're on with your child, this is the domain where your child begins to open the door a good bit more to your understanding of who they are as a person. The ability to use language to express how you feel and what you're thinking is truly amazing. And the ability to understand what others are trying to communicate to you becomes so tightly woven into the social and emotional domain. And it's how we begin to build relationships, not just with our parents, but friends and teachers and so many others as your preschooler becomes a more independent person. As a parent, it's critical that you are aware that this domain is a two-way street. This is the big takeaway message I want you to hold on to today. The idea of the two-way street can also help guide your interactions with your child. Moving in one direction, find opportunities all day long to talk to your child. You don't need to wait until your child is able to use words. Talk it up with your child, even if it's a one-way conversation. Let your child hear you use language. One simple way is to just describe whatever it is that you're doing. Okay, who's hungry for a delicious breakfast? First, let's get out the bowl and spoon for the cereal. Next, let's go pick which cereal we want to eat and pour it into the bowl. Now we need cold milk from the refrigerator. Talking out loud might feel a bit silly at times, but as a parent, this is one of those easy habits you can add into your day, and it can have such a powerful impact on your child's development. Traveling in the other direction, don't forget to be a good listener when your child is communicating with you. While it's important for your child to hear you speak, be sure to leave space to listen. Just as you were patient as they took their first steps, remember to be patient and give space to them to develop their communication skills. It's not an uncommon habit for parents to find themselves speaking for their child. You're probably very good at anticipating their needs, but remember, it's important for you to be a good listener. Even though your child may not be communicating in complete sentences, you can always encourage conversation. Think about how you ask your child questions. By changing your sentence around just a little bit, you can move from asking your child a question requiring a simple 1 or 2 word response, "Is it raining outside today?" to encouraging a longer response. "Let's go look out the window. How is the weather different today from the weather yesterday?" This speech and language domain, this two-way road, can lead you and your child on some amazing journeys. So as a parent, remember to travel and explore this road in both directions. Next week, we will dig a bit deeper into the speech and language domain. Have a great week, and as always, remember to enjoy the journey.